The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
This is Christine Langley with the Wyoming Women's Business Center, and I want to welcome you to Setting Up Sales Taxes in QuickBooks, the online version. The Wyoming Women's Business Center is a nonprofit organization that helps people who want to start or expand small businesses, specifically in the state of Wyoming. And we do that through three distinct programs. The first is business training and one-on-one counseling. The second is through access to capital using our microloan program or our individual development accounts programs. And lastly, we have a professional artist development center. So this QuickBooks training series is brought to you by our microloan program, which was started to provide access to funds for those unable to get business loans through traditional means. And so if you'd like more information on our microloan program, please contact Waldo Smith. And now I'd like to turn it over to Derek Campbell with Capital Clarity Company for our presentation today. Welcome, Derek.
Thanks, Christine. So everybody, like Christine mentioned, today I'm going to show you the setup and basic features of using the sales tax features in QuickBooks Online. So the first thing you'll want to do is log into your QuickBooks Online company. And then on the Sales tab over here on the left side, navigate to Products and Services. Here you'll see your list of products and services. If you create a new inventory product or a new non-inventory product, you can select the sales tax category here down below. So for this example, let's use an existing product. So let's go with this one right here, pump. And I'm just going to edit it. And right down here, I want to make sure that this is taxable at the standard rate. If this were for some reason, maybe it's a service that's not taxable, or for some other reason it's not a taxable product, I can select non-taxable from here, and that will make your invoicing process and your sales receipts process a little bit quicker and more streamlined. But for this example, I want to make sure that this is taxable, so perfect, we'll save and close here. Next thing I want to do is I want to navigate over here to the Taxes tab. This is going to pull up my Sales Tax Center. And this is a pretty basic screen that has a lot of information on it. But what it's showing you is by month and by agency, your gross sales, your taxable sales, your tax amount, and any adjustments or payments that you may have made for this period. I can change this to show it by quarter. I can change this to show the previous year. And I can change the start of my year if I operate on a fiscal year. I also might have other jurisdictions that I want to expand to look at. But one of the first things you're going to want to do once you get into this is you want to edit your sales tax settings in this blue box over here. This just brings up a few basic settings. Do you charge sales tax? Yes. What's your default sales tax? This is going to be one of your jurisdictions that I'll show you how to set up in just a moment. And then if you'd like to turn these features on, I usually do mark all new customers as taxable for the most part. If you are charging sales tax, you're probably going to charge it to the majority of your customers. And I mark all new products and services as taxable. That way, I don't forget to accidentally mark a product or service taxable. It's easier to turn it off than it is to remember to turn it on, in my opinion. So I'll click Save and let this reload here. Next thing we'll do is we'll add or edit tax rates and agencies. So this is going to show me a list of every agency that I've created. I can also create a new one right here. I'll use Albany County, Wyoming. And the agency name is going to be the Wyoming Department of Revenue. That's who I'm going to make the check to. And it's going to be 6%. And so I'll go ahead and save that. So now you'll see Albany County, Wyoming up here in my sales tax rates and agencies. So I'll click this link to go back to my sales tax tab. And next thing we'll do is we'll just go ahead and create an invoice to show you this process. So I'll navigate to sales and invoices and then create a new invoice. There we go. And then I'll just select a customer from the top up here. We don't need to add anything. And let's select that pump that we just talked about. We know that it's taxable, and I want to change my tax jurisdiction to Albany County. So it's going to assess 6% on whatever the rate is here, which we have set at $15. So in total, I will charge $15, and QuickBooks will know that $15.90, excuse me, and QuickBooks will know that 90 cents of that is to be paid to Albany County for sales taxes. If I click Save and Close, go ahead and close this, and then I'll go back to that Taxes tab. And so now I'll see an agency, the Wyoming Department of Revenue, and I'll see that I've made one taxable sale here of $15, which means I've collected 90 cents in tax, and I owe a balance of 90 cents. So if it's time for me to remit that payment to the Wyoming Department of Revenue, here's my information to put into my report that I file with the state, and I can record my tax payment by clicking that Record Tax Payment button. I'll select the bank account that I'm going to make the payment out of, the payment date that I will remit the payment to the state, the period ending date, so I'm going to pay through the end of September, and then I'll make my tax payment. QuickBooks has already calculated this for me. If I needed to change that for any reason, I could, probably not likely. You can add any notes. For example, I might mark filed and paid online if I use the online system here in the state of Wyoming to file this, and then I'll click Record Tax Payment. So you'll now see I have recorded a payment of 90 cents, and I now owe no balance to the Wyoming Department of Revenue. So that's the basic overview of sales tax use and features and setup within QuickBooks Online. And with that, I will pass it back over to Christine.
Thanks, Derek. So the Wyoming Women's Business Center is made possible through several partnership agencies, and our primary funding comes from the U.S. Small Business Administration and the Wyoming Business Council. And so we thank them and our other supporters. You can find contact information here on your screen for the Wyoming Women's Business Center. Our business counseling is always free, and you can contact anyone here on your screen. If you're specifically interested in the microloan program, please contact Waldo Smith. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today.